Nearly 2 decades in the sports broadcast game, and what a ride it's been. Interviews with the 42nd President Bill Clinton, to Lakers legends Kobe Bryant, and the NBA's all-time leading scorer Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, to name a few. I've been blessed to cover and tell some amazing stories, but there were so many more I didn't get to tell.
Thanks for tuning in to another edition of Untold Truths with Telly. My guest today is the 2016 NBA Rookie of the Year and current Indiana Pacer, Malcolm Brogdon. Malcolm, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. The family's well, everything. Your mom's, which is one of my favorite people, by the way.
For sure.
Everyone's fine?
Everybody's doing well. Everybody's staying safe.
So let's get right into it. I know a lot of people want to know what NBA players are doing during this pandemic when you are trying to stay in shape, but there is no determining date on when the season will resume. So how have you been spending your time and trying to make sure that you are on top of your game?
I've been doing a lot. During this time, it's such an unorthodox time where guys have never really experienced not having a gym, not having the resources they normally do to stay in shape. So I've been running a lot of hills in my backyard. I've been on my Peloton bike. I just ordered some kettlebells, so I'll be doing strength training with those. But it's, like I said, man, being creative, trying to figure it out every day and trying to challenge yourself and push yourself.
And what's the mindset in doing that, once again, not knowing when the season will resume?
Man, you're really trying to do your best. You don't want to burn out because you don't know, if the season starts up again in, mid-August, you don't want to burn out now before it's even, May or June. But you want to be in good shape. You don't want to, at the very end of July having to get in good shape. So it's sort of pacing yourself now, making sure you're staying active, making sure you're, staying in pretty good shape. And then as, announcements come out and you hear more about what's coming on and when we'll probably resume play, that's when you really get in peak shape.
You're hearing about the coronavirus, and March 11th rolls around. The NBA suspends the season after Rudy Gobert became the first player to test positive for COVID-19. At that point, as a player, did it get real for you and your teammates and everyone you were around at that point, knowing that, okay, this is touching someone in our NBA family?
For sure. When it hit him, I think it definitely got real. It was close to home, as you would say. It's something where it was already affecting the entire world, the entire our country, our cities, but it hadn't spread to the NBA yet. So a lot of NBA players, I don't think, were paying that much attention to it. And then once it hit the NBA, which was inevitable, Adam Silver, I think, made the best move possible in shutting it down, at least for the time being.
And when you hear about guys like Karl Anthony Towns, who actually lost his mom to the coronavirus, and our hearts go out to him, and knowing that, but having a pandemic affect someone's immediate family and a parent, that really has to touch close to home for fellow players.
Absolutely. We're all praying for Karl Anthony Towns and his family. Everybody talks about how sweet his mother was, and my heart and my prayers go out to him and his family, but that is definitely something hard that's been, sort of at the center of what's going on. And, you've seen how many guys have sort of come out and commented on it and sent their prayers to his family, but that hits home for everybody because we all have parents that are at least that age or older that could be affected by this. So, it's something where we got to take this serious. I think people haven't been taking it serious up to this point, but I think it's important that we all, including NBA players, take this serious. And
with saying that, how different do you think sports will look once it returns?
Man, especially for the NBA, I think we're going to see, I think we're going to see less fans in the stands to start with. And that may be something that affects the next, season or two. I think we could see, a difference in time of the year that the NBA season takes place, where the locations will be. I mean, there's a whole host of issues. I think the CDC, the World Health Organization, our government, our NBA, NBPA has to figure out collectively to make sure that's the safest environment for the players.
And of course, I know you want to do the safest thing possible for you and your family and your teammates and everyone that's involved. But personally, how do you feel about possibly playing in empty arenas?
Definitely will be tough. That's something I've never done. It's something that as an NBA player playing at the highest level of basketball, you expect to never do. That would never be the case. It's the level of basketball that everybody wants to see. And to, be facing that option is definitely tough to hear. But if that's what the safest thing is and can allow us to play basketball and can allow, the economy to go on and people to be employed and we can do it in a safe way, I think it's the best route.
And once everyone is cleared and things resume, the season and everything like that, what will be some of your personal concerns? Because there's a lot of ways and germs that are being transported when you are an NBA player, the travel from the airplanes to the different hotels to the different locker rooms. Will these be some of your personal concerns moving forward?
Absolutely. I've been I'm 27 years old. I've been a germaphobe for all my time being. So it's something that definitely concerns me. It's concerned me before the virus. And now that it is, a pandemic, it's concerning that we'll all be using the same planes, that we'll, be in a locker room. We're on a team. And in the past, since I've been in the NBA, since I've been in college, when you're part of a team, these viruses, these colds, they spread like wildfire. And, we're going to have to be more careful. They really need to put into place safety precautions on, whether it's hand sanitizer, whether it's, wiping down your seats or the planes being sanitized after every team leaves. There's going to have to be some extra precautions put in place.
As you see things develop each and every day with this pandemic, can you really put a percentage on the likelihood that the NBA season returns this season? What's your gut feeling on that?
I say it's 50-50. I think it changes every week. I think when we see a spike of cases or we see, us not hitting the curve in a specific state as a nation as a whole, as fast as we thought it would happen or when the date predicted, that's when people get really pessimistic. But then when a city like New York turns the corner and the curve is down sloping, then people are optimistic and things are going well. So it's really a week to week thing. And I used to get really high on stuff and then be like, man, it's not going to happen. And now I'm just sort of in between and I'm waiting. I think in the next month we will have, a pretty solid answer.
Be on the lookout for part 2. Make sure to subscribe to Telly Hughes Media and click notifications so you'll be notified on all upcoming episodes of Untold Truths with Telly.